up what they call the annual Zuni Shalako ceremony. And after they had completed the services, we went into Arizona right after on a Saturday night, and by Sunday morning we were driving back. And I kept looking over on the south side of the reservation. I saw an object that was amber light. It was kind of brighter than the rest of the stars and bigger. So we kept going into the village, and we had to go, it's a straight line road from the border of New Mexico-Arizona line toward the Pueblo of Zuni. About halfway through there's when I observed the light. It came about, I'd say about 2 to 2:30 in the morning. And we kept driving. There was my brother and a lady that owned the car, and that car was a Ranchero, Ford Ranchero type, almost new. It might have only had about a couple thousand miles on it. So as we were driving down there, we saw this light start appearing bigger, and I didn't want to tell anybody. I was watching it until we came out there to the end of the hills toward the village of Zuni. And all of a sudden it just became huge. I would estimate that the being or the craft or whatever it was, approximately maybe about 30 feet in diameter, just by my observation. And it parked above what this was at that time the Zuni sewer lagoons. And so it's about a mile outside of Zuni. So we kept watching it, and we were on this road, and as we came off the hills, I told my brother, I said, see, that's what I was observing, this park right there. And his girlfriend, of course, is driving. And as we came off the hill, the lights started dimming. And I said, what's going on here? And I said, in my stories, or the stories that I read about UFO contact, the first thing that goes out is the battery of the car, all the electrical system, and it just completely dies out. And this is exactly what happened. It rolled for about a half a mile, then it stopped. We got out. There's a lot of things that happened, but basically I remember that we got out. We started going into the village, which is about a half a mile away, maybe a mile. We started running. It was cold. It's about, I'd say about 20 degrees centigrade. Fahrenheit. So we kept running or walking, but that UFO thing was just still sitting up there in the sky. And about this time, there's a sort of like a beam, an orange beam came out of that vehicle that was floating up into the air. And my own estimate at that time was, I would say it was anywhere about 100 to 150 feet above the ground. And this is based upon just estimating, because in a lot of my engineering work, I had to learn how to estimate approximate distances. So it's about 100 to 150 feet above the ground over the sewer ponds, with now the beam light shining right into what I thought was the sewer ponds. It is really dark, pitch black. And so we started walking, and it got cold. So we said, why don't we just go into these culverts here and warm up, and maybe if we go in there, we'll sit in there and see if that thing will go away, then we'll start walking back into the village. We went into the culverts, and that took, I don't know how long we were there, maybe 15, 20 minutes. I kept looking out. It was getting cold in there also. I looked out toward where the craft was sitting, and it was still there. So I said, we can't stay here because it's too cold. We don't have any heavy jackets. We got to run. But it's too far to the village. It's too cold. I said, let's just get out on the road, and if a vehicle comes, we just get out on the highway. All of us get in the middle of the highway, start waving our hands, and it doesn't make any difference whether it's a truck or a car or whatever. They have to stop. So I said, okay, we walked out the culverts. They were about maybe 4 feet in diameter. So we walked out and we got back on the highway. And now the time lapse has been maybe about 30 minutes to most, or maybe about 45 minutes. We started walking and we saw a light coming where we had parked the vehicle. And we were approximately, well, maybe a couple hundred yards from the vehicle. So it was in that general area and it kept coming. I said, here comes it.
To attend or live stream the next Star Knowledge Conference, go to StarKnowledgeConference.com.